Do you remember this?
Okay, what's with this? A private meeting on a private plane. I'm talking about former President Bill Clinton and Attorney General Loretta Lynch meeting privately on the ground on a private plane at Phoenix Airport.
Yeah, a couple of years ago when Hillary Clinton was running for the presidency and she was going through, as former Secretary of State, she was going through the Benghazi hearings and they found some emails and it was going through that whole thing, right? Well, the Attorney General at the time, Loretta Lynch, was seen talking to former President Bill Clinton. Their planes just happened to be at the same airport and apparently they had a conversation. Well, that caused an uproar. You got a wife of a former president who is running for president and she's talking to the now Attorney General who's investigating her for potential crimes and what happened in Benghazi. And the Attorney General came out and made an initial statement, and I think Bill Clinton came out and made a statement to say, hey, we only talked about our grandchildren. We didn't talk about the case or anything like that. And I understand, but I also understand how that can be seen as a bad thing because you got the Attorney General, again, investigating your wife who's running for president. They brought her up on Senate and Congress hearings to have her testify as to what she said because of that impropriety. Well, just one day after the Supreme Court came down and said that pretty much the president has blanket immunity, which is what Trump wanted, Trump's plane was seen at an airport next to a Russian ambassador plane.
It's beyond me how tone deaf either one of them is on this. The whole idea when the Justice Department is investigating the emails and the server and everything else, and it's a criminal investigation according to Josh Ernst at the White House, and you've got the President of the United States married to a candidate who's being investigated, and they meet privately on an airplane, even if it's 100% innocent, how could you be so tone deaf?
Well, I totally agree with Fox Entertainment. How can a presidential candidate who used to be president and had issues with Russia, remember the Russia thing, and how there was an impropriety or maybe a look of impropriety, and now that a day after the Supreme Court says that the next president or presidents in general have blanket immunity, that you now park your plane next to a Russian plane that happens to be the plane for the Russian ambassador, even if it's innocent, the look of impropriety, how can you be that stupid? I totally agree.
It goes back to all the problems and the Clinton scandals during his time in the White House. Everyone always said that, how could he be this stupid? And we learn more in this, the Secret Service agent's book of how stupid he was and how just blatant he was about not just appearance of impropriety, but actual impropriety. People walking in on him when he was with other people, allegedly. So this is just par for the course. I don't know why any of us are surprised.
I totally agree with Laura Ingraham. I don't understand, after going through 4 years of Donald Trump and having thousands upon thousands of books written about just those 4 years, I agree. Why am I surprised? The man has a knack, in a tendency, in an inclination to side with dictators. So it's fitting that he would be parked next to a Russian plane. Why am I surprised? Why haven't I seen his plane fly to North Korea and talk to Un? They were in love at one time. Why didn't he go and talk to Erdogan or whomever? This is who Donald Trump is. So why am I surprised? Right? I agree. If the shoe fit for Clinton, shouldn't it fit for Trump?
There is a brazen effort to undermine, U.S. law, and at the very least, the appearance of impropriety and ethical considerations, which you and I know as lawyers, people take very seriously.
Again, I agree. There is no way a presidential candidate, whether they're going to win the nomination or win the election or not, there is no way. I mean, it's illegal for you to go over and attempt to represent the United States on any kind of foreign policy. That is a treasonous offense. You can get in trouble for impersonating an ambassador and talking to ambassadors on behalf of the United States. So let's just assume, because all this is allegedly, let's assume that this is what we think it is, that Donald Trump is talking to a Russian ambassador. Do you realize that before Obama left the office, he removed Russian ambassadors out of the country? So for Donald Trump to be seen, the impropriety, just the look to have his plane parked next to a Russian plane just doesn't add up. And somebody can get in trouble for that. They investigated Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, over that brief interaction. What do you think they're going to do with this one? By the looks of what's going on in the news with the law, nothing. What do you think?